Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about another seller finance property. This one specifically is a subject to, which means there's no equity left in the property. After you give the down payment to the seller, all that's remaining in that property is the mortgage, and you're essentially, as the buyer, taking that over. Now, why are we talking about subject to and seller finance and real estate right now? Here we are going into the fall of 2023, and interest rates are over 8%. I don't know if you're active in the market, but I am. It has really made things grind to a halt, with just not many buyers seeing real estate as attractive right now, paying at 8%. Yeah, I know there were times when our parents talk about 13, 14, 15, 16% interest rates. I've even heard. I couldn't imagine those. I do know that real estate probably costs about 1/10 of what it costs now. So yeah, you're paying a lot higher interest. And I know people didn't make as much those days, but compared to now, where real estate has just continually climbed in price, made it almost unaffordable. Almost everything's doubled these last 3 or 4 years. And now you add interest rates that have gone up over 8%. When I started buying real estate in 2019, we were buying deals around 3%. Now we're here at 8%. If I bought those same deals, assuming price didn't almost double, we're talking about almost 5% more of interest. Now, what does that mean to me as a buyer? It means that I'm paying 50% more for the same property. Say that the property I bought in 2019, my mortgage, including taxes and insurance, is about $2,000 a month. Now, if I bought that same property, add 50% on that cost. So instead of $2,000 a month, we're now paying $3,000 a month. Almost unaffordable for people to buy, to even live in. But it also makes rentals not attractive because rents haven't kept up with the crazy interest jack the last year. So anything you buy is going to be mostly cash flow negative. So how do we combat that? We're seeing the revival. We're seeing a lot of creative finance techniques come back. One of the ones we're going to talk about today is subject to, where the seller's already done the hard work. They've already qualified for a loan. This one's pretty good. It's at 5.1%. It's definitely not the best I've seen, not the worst I've seen, but it's definitely better than 8% as you pay on the market today. So you have your property at 5.1% as opposed to 8%. That's a 30% less payment. Now, not everything is great about this deal, but when I can buy a property that's 30% less and get it at a decent cost, get other favorable terms, it definitely makes deals more attractive than they would be if I went and got a loan, put my money down and had to take 8%. It just makes it unaffordable. So that's why we're seeing this. People are still going to buy and sell real estate. People have to move. Families are made. All kinds of things, household formations, job changes, life changes, you name it. People need to buy it and sell real estate. And this is a way to make it not as painful to still buy real estate. I'm a huge believer that when interest rates go back down in 2024, if they do, even if it's at the 6% or 5%, I think people, because of the crazy rush during COVID and bidding wars, prices going up, and then interest rates going up from there, that there's a huge wave of buyers, especially here in Phoenix, that are just sitting out, just waiting for the right time. The right time hasn't come. And when those things go back to being favorable to buyers, interest rates, I don't think prices ever will, unfortunately. I think we're going to see a huge group of people enter the buying market, and prices are going to go up. So me personally, I still want to buy real estate because I know what it's done over, since I've been following it, since I've been buying it. Definitely the best wealth builder for most people. Now, I know friends who are entrepreneurs and business owners who've gotten really wealthy of those. And, I'm sure we've all heard of those. But if you look at, generally speaking, there's a way more number of real estate people who bought real estate and made wealth that way compared to any other means. So I still want to buy property personally. I just don't want to buy it at 8%. And that's where we talk about seller finance. So we're going to look at this deal right now, a seller finance deal that's under contract. I'm looking to buy this property, potentially assign it to a new buyer, or even partner on it if somebody wanted to come in and bring some of the cash. We can figure that out. But the thing I really love about this property, and the address is 2227 North 16th Ave in Phoenix, Arizona. It's a great neighborhood, centrally located near downtown Phoenix. You don't really always find that great of neighborhoods around there, but this Encanto Park is the neighborhood this one's in, is one of the best neighborhoods around. It's walking distance to so many things, the big park, restaurants, next down to Roosevelt Row, all the ballparks where the Diamondbacks play, the Suns play downtown, all kinds of concerts and a pretty hopping nightlife down there, coffee shops, all kinds of good stuff to do around there. So to be in a good neighborhood around there is great. That's not even the best part of this deal. There's two best parts, let's call it. Right now, it's a house hack. A house hack now is basically when you take a residence and break it up to try to rent to supplement your mortgage. I got into real estate doing this, buying single family homes with a casita where I could put people in the front and the back. It just makes the numbers work for real estate. So this one is already 100% ready. It's even furnished today. So whoever buys it, it's going to be a true turnkey midterm rental. It could be a short-term rental. Actually, it is today and it's doing very well. Or it could be a house hack where you live in one of the units and rent out the others. So that's one of the best parts about this. The second best part is that it cash flows as a traditional rental. Because of that house hack and because you're taking over the mortgage at 5.1% after you give the seller the down payment, in this case, it cash flows. And I just have not been able to find a lot of traditional rentals that would cash flow in Phoenix, definitely in the last few years here. So those are the best parts of it. We're going to go just through the numbers now, but the purchase price on this property is $603,000. The probably closest comp you want to look at is 1633 West Vernon Avenue, which just closed, $929. Now, Vernon Avenue sell price is $575K, but when you look through the pictures, you'll notice that they're guest suite. They're both a 2-bedroom house in the front, and then they both have a guest suite in back. I don't know if it's really a guest suite because it's not fully livable. There's no bathroom or kitchen. So when I'm comparing their price of $575K, which just sold last month, and a price of $603, I probably take the one that's fully livable in the back, already has the house hack potential, because I know if I made it fully livable, I'm definitely spending more than $25K. I'm probably spending $30 to $40K on that. The down payment is $120,000. So this if you take the purchase price, $603,000, and you're just going to go straight to the mortgage, which is a balance of $483K. You do the quick math, it's $120,000. So you probably want to add in a little more. I call your entry fee all the money you have to put into a deal up front, the entry fee, and that's going to look like $130,000. And the seller is paying the closing costs on this property. The mortgage is going to be taken over subject to, it's $483,000 at 5.125 interest. Your payment for this property, this already ready house hack, is $2,984, so under $3,000, which in today's standards with our prices and interest rate on top of that, $3,000 for basically a duplex is not bad. Part of this that I really like as well is the principal pay down every month is $622,000. So principal pay down is basically the part of the mortgage that is going towards principal, and it's basically like a savings account that is just accumulating part of your payment. If you were renting and you were paying that $2,900 a month, that's just going to the landlord. But if you're an owner, you do have principal pay down, and as you know, with the amortization schedule, that principal pay down gets more and more and more every year, and that's part of what is subject to I like. When you take over somebody's mortgage, the first year, the second year, the third year, and so on are always the highest interest years with the less principal pay down. So if I can take over a mortgage and somebody's already done the hard work of year 1, 2, and 3 for me, I love it. Now, tax and insurance on this is just under $300 at $297. Interest rate of that $2,984 is $2,000. As I mentioned, you'll be paying with every single payment less interest and more principal. So you look up the rents in Encanto Park for a 2-bedroom. Conservatively, you're looking at traditional rental of $2,400. I'm being conservative on both of these. On the 1-bedroom, you're looking at $1,500. When you combine the two, you're looking at $3,900 a month. Again, now that's $3,000 mortgage, $3,900 a month is a traditional rental. You're making money on that. Now, you always want to save some money for things that happen with houses as they do in real estate. Now, the idea is to hold the real estate, let the market go up, which it always does over time. And then, you can take out some money here and there to fix up the house if you want. So you don't want to pay that out of pocket, but you definitely want to keep some money set aside for expenses. I always recommend having like a 6-month reserve. So whatever your mortgage payment, in this case, $3,000. You want to have 6 months of that set aside in the account. That's $18,000. Now, let's just talk about some of the other stuff with the deal. I already talked about the location. It's in central Phoenix, just north of downtown, I guess a little northwest, but it's walking distance from downtown in a neighborhood called Encanto Park. There's a big recreation there. There's a state fairgrounds right next to it. There's Phoenix College, all the stuff and fun that comes with downtown. Now, this is in a historic neighborhood where the first thing you'll notice, and like I love this about historic neighborhoods in Phoenix, is they have the tall palm trees like just lined. I don't know, just think of one of those videos from like California and LA, like the old, let's call it Friday. If anybody's ever watched Friday, that's one of my favorites when I was growing up. But they had the tall palm trees line the streets and like all the porches in front. That's what you think of when you see this neighborhood. It's older and, you know, there's a lot of porches, a lot of brick houses, and palm trees on both sides. Definitely absolutely safe neighborhood. I went out there and walked around, just traveled the neighborhood. It's actually a really beautiful neighborhood for how old it is. I love the neighborhood. Haven't spent a ton of time in Encanto Park, but I am going to now after going out there. If you look at the property, if you're just renting it traditional, now the revenue on this property for the trailing 12 months is Airbnb was $77,000. So if you're not living in it, that's how I recommend. But that also allows you, like say you don't live in Phoenix and you just want a place to visit, that you're not, you lose money on, you're actually going to make monthly. I would Airbnb both. That way you control the calendar and then you could come in and stay there. Whereas if you do long-term rents, they're definitely easier to manage as long-term rents. But if you're long-term renting, you don't have the option to stay. So there is an in-between called midterm rentals, and that actually would be a great location right downtown for a midterm rental because you got your hospitals and all the other stuff. You got the airport not too far away, which make for a good midterm rentals, where, you could still not live in Arizona and come visit a few times a year. You just block off the calendar for the dates or do it in between guests as a midterm or short-term rental. All in, you are going to be making money. I calculated a cash-on-cash return just under 6%. This is all expenses included in this: taxes, insurance, vacancy cost, annual CapEx budget, maintenance budget. I'm happy to share these numbers. But when you're looking at that, I think conservatively as a traditional rental, you're looking at a 6% cash-on-cash return. Now, you're going to have a little principal reduction every year. We live in Phoenix. I talked about that pent-up demand. It's going to absolutely explode when interest rates go back down. I absolutely know there's just too many people moving here and home builders are not keeping up. So people are going to have to buy real estate, and that means there's going to be a lot of bidding. So I believe we are in a heavily appreciating market once interest rates go down a little bit. And certainly, basically anywhere you are for real estate, cost goes up over time. So your total return in investment for year one, when you're including cash-on-cash return, principal reduction, and appreciation, you're looking at a 37% return on that $120,000 that you're putting up, $130,000 that you're putting up. So that's it on this deal. I'm going to continue to look for deals. I do like this one a lot because cash flows is traditional. It's a great area of town, and it's already fixed up. I'm going to put any money into that, and the furniture's coming with it. All turnkey, all the supplies, everything you would need to live in. All the beds, all the TVs, all the furnishings, inside and out. It's got a nice gate that separates the two units where you can't even see the other one, and they both have their own outdoor space to enjoy the beautiful Arizona weather that is coming to us now and will for the next 6 months. So all in all, it's a good looking deal. It's definitely a little more cash than I like to put in this the partnership and potentially partnering on this. I could assign this to a buyer as well. Any questions on that? All of my contact is in the description below. You can find it there. Reach out, whether it's traditional real estate, which is the vast majority of my business, but now more and more I'm doing creative stuff because sellers and buyers both need it right now, the way the market is. But I've done a lot of investing myself as well. So I still have a number of units and properties and manage a bunch of different ways. So even if you're not buying or selling real estate, you just want to talk about the market or just kind of strategies, it's become my passion. I love doing it, and I look forward to talking to you as well. I make videos on the Phoenix market all the time, what's going on, from anything from water. You can find that video here, all other sorts of stuff going on in Phoenix real estate. I'll see you on the next video.